situation that I got thrown into.
Yes,
I hope.
but I'm so excited you're still doing it and you weren't canceling and that you're here because this content is huge, Joellen.
Yeah,
It,
and I feel like you have my slides, and it's just really a conversation and some tips on how to do it.
yeah. And one of the things, there's a few things actually I want to say is, marketing to this demographics, it's really two sellers and buyers that you're really marketing to. Marketing to somebody that's the person that can make decisions, or you're marketing to the person that has somebody making the decisions for them. Those are the two decision makers. And so, what I have found statistically, there are a couple platforms that those over the age of 55 um, gravitate towards. And Nextdoor.com is a huge one. Why do I say that? If you have ever been to any of my classes, and I have been doing this over 7 years at EXP Seniors Network, I was one of the co-founders of this. Let me tell you, seniors or those of us over 55 want to do business with people we like, know, and trust. Plain and simple. Like, know, and trust. Those are the three things. So establishing yourself as a community expert is huge, and we all know that. Now, when you look at the statistics, we know that statistics tells us on social media, Nextdoor.com, the over 55 crowd is on it. Why? Because we're talking about what's happening in our neighborhoods, who we like, know, and trust, and who we want to do business with. So I have watched Joellen Brooks, no relationship, by the way. I've watched her get her real estate license, really start on Nextdoor.com and kill it. And every single year, really every couple months, I have her back to talk about like her experiences and how great it is. She just keeps killing it year after year. I'm going to let her toot her own horn about the newest listing that she got off of Nextdoor.com and then tell you guys her story through the slides that I'm going to show you. I will kind of be off to the side, hoping to look at some questions and kind of helping her through the slides. You guys need to forgive me. I'm a one-man show here, so I will do my best to keep up. But without further ado, Joellen Brooks.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. I'm going to
Okay,
start
good.
while you're talking. I'm going to get the share screen and everything ready. So you
Okay.
go ahead and we could totally hear you. I would appreciate if everybody just stays on mute. It just helps me out with my job of shushing anybody and then helping with the slides and multitasking. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. So I started Nextdoor when I moved to a brand new market in 2022. And how it came about was I used to use Nextdoor in my old community just for like keeping up with what was going on in the area. Well, one night I just said, how am I going to get business? And then I was talking to my husband. I said, I know, I'm going to use the Nextdoor app. I'm going to do all kinds of things, and I'm going to post it on the Nextdoor, and I'm going to get the neighborhood involved. And so what I did was I held a purse drive and went on Nextdoor, and I said, I'm hosting a purse drive. Would anybody have any purses they could donate? Well, I made it to, oh my God, I think we collected over 300 purses. I got into all different homes. People were helping me collect. Then I had this lady come from Dress for Success. We gave her all the purses. We took pictures and then posted it back into the Nextdoor app. So Nextdoor is in 350,000 neighborhoods in 11 countries. And what I've realized is that people in the neighborhood, I know you're going to hear, oh, there's the people that, are just crabby and spreading negative, bad information. And Nextdoor is really trying to get rid of those type of conversations. They actually send you an email when you're not being positive, and they ask you to refrain from talking like that and to keep it, nice and kind. So they really want to spread, kindness. So it's an app. You download it on your phone. 1 in 3 households have the Nextdoor app on their phone. They are Gen Zs, boomers. They are looking for things like, what color paint should I use? What type of designs is the new trends? Does anybody have a recommendation for a landscaper or someone to come do floor? And if you think about it, we have all of those resources at our tips. Those resources are in our toolbox. So they're looking for this, and this is how we can stand out, by giving that information, saying, oh, I have a handyman, here's this. So what you want to do is get your Nextdoor app on your phone, create a really nice profile that has your name, where you live, not your address, but just your town that you live in. Are you a mom, soccer mom, softball mom? Are you a puppy lover? Do you love oysters and champagne, pizza, whatever you want? Make it fun. Always include your phone number and your email so they can get a hold of you. Let's see, but what you want to do is you just really want to start using it like you would
Hey,
use Facebook.
Joellen, really fast, tell me when to switch pages because I don't know when to switch.
Oh, you're fine. This is
Okay.
basically talking about the app and
Okay.
some information on that. You could switch if you'd like. I'll try to go through it. So on Nextdoor, you have to be really careful because they don't want self-promoting. Yes, it is a personal page, but I'm going to tell you, I started all my business on the personal page, but most recently I have a business page, and it's free. And on my business page is where I put my brokerage, my client testimonials, my Zillow profile, and people can favorite me as the neighborhood realtor. So that's what I do that as well. But yeah, create a personal page. No self-promoting. You have to use weasel words. Let's just say you recently sold a property in the neighborhood and you'd like to get a recommendation from that seller. You can, show pictures of, I was with my sweet seller here. This is what we were doing. Never look at my listing or I'm selling this home. Let's see. You can keep going. So I did for about 6 months. I did some community events. This is my profile right here. If you want to click on that, they can kind of read through it. That's my profile. I had a few events, and then 6 months later, I finally asked for the business. And what I did was I posted a post that said, has anybody heard of a rumor of anybody looking to sell here in the neighborhood? I have a sweet family looking for a home. I got into 8 doors. I think 6 or 7 of them were expired, and one was, I'm ready to sell my house. And she was a senior. It had a VA assumption loan on it. So I just marketed the heck out of that house. I took pictures and posted it on Nextdoor and said, would anybody be interested in an assumable loan? This house has that. Next thing you know, I think I got like 12 or 13 buyers. I got a listing out of that. No, I got like 3 listings. So it's just basically, taking this information and going with it. You can go to the next slide. Oh, this is me at a 55 and older community. That was the first drive. I posted the 55 and older community asking if anybody would like to go take a tour with me. And I actually got 3 ladies to get in my car. We went down to the new builds and signed them up. And they didn't necessarily buy, but we're friends now. And so you end up making a lot of friends on Nextdoor. I have a lot of friends. This was the house. That was my very, I got off Nextdoor. You can go to the next slide. We had a first-time home buyer program around that house because it had an assumable loan on it. So I went to the Rayleigh's Market down the street. The room was free, and we posted this on Nextdoor, and it was a buyer seminar around that. Let's see, the next slide. I'm a Rotarian. I got to give out dictionaries to the local schools, so I share that I'm really involved in my community. Next slide. I went to the assisted living community and asked if I can host a downsizing class. And I brought in my senior movers and packers.
So I just
And
want to say something to everybody that's watching this. If you aren't watching the target, very specific targeting, the like, know, and trust. If you got on this call late, I want to tell you from the years of experience that I've had, Joellen has experience in senior communities prior to real estate, but people over the age of 55 want to do business with people they like, know, and trust. Nextdoor.com is exactly how she has established herself as the person that people like, know, and trust. They're going to go to her for, hey, do you trust somebody that has this? Do you have somebody that has that downsizing and decluttering? She's hosting seminars. I mean, how great is that? Partnering up with people in your community. How many
yes,
real estate agents are doing this? You guys
yeah,
got
and
to get on board.
that's really huge. It's not about how do we do it, but who do we do it with? And when you're doing it with other partners in the community, like movers, packers, downsizers, um, nutritionists, whoever that other person may be, and sharing them, that's huge. And we all have these resources. All have these connections. We know so many people, and we are the boots on the ground. We're in the field all the time. And so we're the trusted partners.
The
You can go
best
to the, and
is it's free.
it's free. Yes, it's free.
Free advertising. However, like Joellen said, there are words that do flag yourself, and you've got to be
Mhm.
careful. Number one, and there are moderators in there. In fact, when we did a class a couple years ago, we had a moderator that was actually
Yeah,
in the class listening to us, and she chimed in and said something about it.
she did.
So it's kind of cool.
I got to tell you something funny, and I think I have it. I just put it in the slide. About a month ago, I got a DM. They're called DMs, a message, a private message in Nextdoor, and it was one of the moderators wanted to set up an appointment with me about selling their house and moving to another area. A moderator. I said, you made it on Nextdoor when the moderator's reaching out to you. So that was really neat. You could go to the next slide, though. Oh, keep going. I do a toy drive for a local nonprofit. This is me passing out forget-me-nots, just little seeds, walk in the neighborhood. I share it on Nextdoor. I ask them, if you see me, honk or open your door. If you see right here where I'm giving pizza to some sellers of mine and getting the community and wishing them a bon voyage because they're moving to a new area, I got 5.7 thousand views. And that's a lot. I live in a town of 19,000. So I'm getting recognized now as the next door lady. This is a listing that I got off of Nextdoor where I'm helping do some cleaning, if you will, and I'm showing the community how I help my seniors. I don't know, is everybody familiar with KV Core? I don't know if you could see the comments.
Every single one of us, by the way, here is an EXP agent, and we all have KV Core. If you don't know how to use it, I don't mind bringing in somebody that can help you guys with KV Core and who's really great at this. One thing I will say, Joellen has an amazing system, and maybe we can have her back and have her teach us the KV Core part of it, but please
Yeah,
let us know.
there you can create a home evaluation link on KV Core. Well, what I did was I put it on Nextdoor asking if anybody was interested in checking out what their home value would would be. And then also you might want to find the slide. It's in there somewhere. I think maybe 2023. And I asked them to then give me feedback. Well, I woke up the next morning and I had 11 requests for CMAs. And that house where I'm helping that lady was one come list me. She was ready to sell. And I think I got 1.2 thousand views on that link. And what I know, I actually got two listings. I sold two listings out of 11 requests, 11 hand raises. They, let's see if you can see that slide. So basically you can put a link on there, they click on it, and then a home evaluation pops up in your KV core. And there it is. If you read that, that was the link. Those were how many people viewed it. And I got 11 requests and I closed two out of the 11.
So here is the best part. Okay. First of all, I've got people asking a few things. Number one, for all those that are asking, hey, personal or business, um, for many years, she's had a personal account. She did it on a personal, and now she just got a business account, but she'll tell you about that in a second. These, a few other comments, because that was the biggest one. And I know that that was it. By the way, KV Core, yes, I'll bring somebody in. I got it. You guys all need somebody to help you with the KV Core classes. And so let's quickly run down business versus personal. And do you think that your personal account is what helped you with your business account being so successful?
Yeah,
Because
so
it's
this is a
interesting.
person. This is on my personal right here. This link, this is personal. Everything has always been on personal. Everything. I recently did a business account probably about 4 months ago, and that's because that's where I put who my brokerage is, my DRE number, all my client reviews, my Zillow page, and then people will, that's how they can recommend me because they can tag me on my business. So I have raving fans. So whenever someone's looking for a realtor, people now tag me and they tag your business. They tag your business. And so far, I think I got 70 faves from people in the area as the favorite local realtor. And that's huge because it's almost like a favorite restaurant or a favorite, you know.
It's kind of like a Google review, but
Yeah,
way
it's
better.
exactly, exactly.
But by the way, I've held back on all of our agents here at EXP that's on this little chat box, which is 24 of us. Um, the listing that you got. You want to tell them how much it was?
Yeah, if you go down to like the last couple slides, I'll
Then
let
I'll
you see.
wait till we get there because there's 33 slides and we're at 16. So don't worry about it. I didn't
Okay,
know.
so So,
Perfect. I'm
so
excited.
this thousand views. So I used to do postcards, right? And I would pay $300 a month for like 200 postcards. This gets 1,000.2 reaches, and I didn't pay it for anything, and I got a 900,000 and a $1.9 million listing off this right here. So I think postcards are still good, but I think this right here is the secret sauce that goes with the postcards. They're getting multiple choice touches, and your face is just going to start to become like they know you. They know you. They see you everywhere. You're not, you're big in the
Well,
community.
you also touch on two. So, by the way, everybody that's here, if you don't understand this demographics that we are in, it's called the sandwich generation.
Mhm.
If you've noticed, her posts have her kids in it too, but she's also touching on 55 communities and seniors and those that are aging. She is the typical target demographics of people that are the older daughter that's making decisions for their parent, helping their parent, the one that's giving, the one that has everybody that can help you age in place if your parents want to. But because we all know that it's going to take a lot to let them age in place, it's going to be hard. The bottom line is she's posting about her personal life too with her kids or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be with her kids. It could be with your adult children. It could be going to
Your dog, your dog, your
dog
cat, your pickleball. Just something for people to get to know you.
because it makes you realize everything she's doing is not salesy. If you've
Mhm.
looked at all of her slides and and by the way, I know we're doing the recording, so you'll be able to go back and really look at these slides. look at them. Look at the way that they are worded. It's very specific. Okay.
Mhm.
It doesn't talk about sales. Keyword sales. No, nobody wants the word sales. It's like, hey, have you ever wondered?
Mhm.
Ask them a question. You're like drawing them in, right? That's what I see on all your posts.
Yeah, that's what everyone says now that they see everything, that it's just really coming from being a part of the community, wanting to educate, wanting to help, and being successful in getting it done. And then the next slide. Okay, so this was one of those CMA requests. This was the house that I listed off of that KB Core home evaluation link. So that was that. That was like an open house postcard, so that's why it looks like that. That was my marketing. That was my very first one, just sold from there. That was another one that I got off. So once I got my very first one, I started getting a lot of calls because she wrote an amazing recommendation on Nextdoor. I think it got over 140 engagements. It was huge, and so she really helped me get more business, which was nice. And then they left me a review. And they're seniors, they're 85. So I brought in the senior move managers, the packers. I go in with my handy dandy little kit with little stickies, what to donate, what to keep, and what to let go. So I'm kind of already prompting them on what we need to look for, and I'm very empathetic, and I will cry sometimes with them because you're going through old pictures, maybe of their children, or maybe they went through a divorce, or it's the adult children that lost their mom or their kid was in a car accident and now it's probate. So there's all different types of situations, and you really just got to be there and really listen. And also, they really need someone to lead this. They need a leader because they really don't know who to call. Number one, they could go through the phone book, if yeah, right, and pick all these movers, but now they're on hold. Who might scam them? So I literally have my team come in. They get to interview three of each. I set up the appointment, I'm there with them, and then we get all the quotes, and then we go from there. I don't usually have to be there for the packing or that because now they already know the vendors. So that's a huge value in this market right now.
Somebody just asked, can you give us more insight on your team of movers?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So I work with what are called senior move managers, and they are they are certified in 55 and older, moving furniture, packing. They just have a I guess like an extra level of care, if you will.
So
Right? You're
I actually we brought in the head of the National Senior Move Managers last August. Basically, these senior move managers, they're certified, they've got licenses in their own state, they have all everything in place to know that how to deal with the senior that's moving or how to deal with the children. They can take a 3,000 square foot house and literally draw the dimensions and put it into 1,000 square foot or 800 square foot little apartment, make things very familiar with very specific pieces of furniture so they can feel like they're still at home. Does that explain it?
yeah, and they're
Amazing.
that's their niche, right? They're certified.
Yes. Yeah, they're all certified. They go through. So, by the way, people are asking, where do you get them? It's called the National Senior Move Managers, NSMM. You believe it or not, we have them. All of us have National Senior Move Managers in our
Yeah.
areas.
And
And
you can also like you can go to like maybe assisted living. Go to your older adult community networking events.
I'm
Um,
getting there too.
yeah,
Mhm.
because they'll all be there, and then you can make real relationships with them. So that's what my team is the movers that actually move and travel the furniture, and then I have senior move packers where they will just come in and pack up everything. And then whatever's left over, they'll do donations and go take care of it and, donate it somewhere. We have that. And then I have a notary, I have lender, I have my home warranty and my escrow and my NHD. That's my team. And then I have contractors, painters, floors, all that. This listing was
Wait,
another.
quick
Huh?
question. Do you have somebody that can help them with grab bars and aging?
Oh
Because
yeah,
no, they want to stay at home, right?
yeah. If someone's gonna stay at home, I definitely have somebody that can come and install that. Yeah, absolutely. Safe at home. I think it's called. Yeah. And then if you see this one right here, this is the listing that was another one of those KV Core home evaluation links that I did. So that was really nice. And then let's see, next slide. That this is some data stats, 13 listing appointments. Oh, right here, I just did something for fun, like trying to figure out my top 5 Christmas movies. I mean, look at the engagement on there. It's bananas. It's a lot. I think I got like 10,000 views. Pretty cool.
Wow,
Yeah.
48 comments.
Yeah. And then you start engaging with these people, writing back. We're having a fun conversation. It's probably raining. We're all just sitting at home on our couch or whatnot, and this is what people next door like to do. They want to talk about what are you having for dinner tonight? What's your favorite movie? And so if you can see, I do a little bit of business, I do a little bit of questionnaire, like polling, and then I do what I do, yeah, with family, and so I sprinkle it all over.
But again, you are not only somebody that they like, know, and trust, but engaging. Because you got to have a little
Yeah,
bit, that's your sprinkle,
you,
like
you
that
can't
is
just post.
exactly your fairy sprinkle.
Yeah, you can't just post and ghost. You really got to take the time and be intentional and have a nice little conversation with these people. Because what you're gonna, like I said, the one thing about Nextdoor is be scared. Don't be afraid to make friends because you're gonna make friends. And you'll get raving fans. That's what I call them now. I love them.
Wait, can you tell everybody next door famous? Can you tell them
Oh,
about
yeah.
that? Because
Thank
that's
you.
so, I love that.
So how this happened one night when we did move to our new town, I told my husband, this is it. I'm going to market on the next door. I'm going to build community. I'm going to get known. Everyone's going to know me. Cause I know they teach like how you do it on Facebook and you get out there in the ads and all that. Well, that's kind of like that. I've already done all that. That's old school. You know what I mean? I feel like this is the new way to really get involved and be known as the local realtor, hyper local realtor. So, anyways, we went into a party one night at my husband's friend's house, and there was this lady there, and she goes, Joellen, oh my gosh, I saw that next door post. I had to screenshot it and send it to Emily. And I think it was the review that I had got. And I looked at my husband and I winked and I said, hashtag next door famous. And he was like, oh my gosh, no. And at first he was a little embarrassed, but then now he just loves it. He's like, you're all in it. You're committed.
I do have people that are asking questions.
Uh-huh.
Um, Number one, Tina Sharp is Tina, thank you so very much. She's like the stenographer right now. She missed about having to put the team together. It's a senior move manager, a senior packer, a notary, a lender, a home warranty, and she missed the rest of your team. An aging in place specialist is something I'd add on to the team. Tina, if you could just put that into the chat
Oh
box.
yeah.
What was the other
Yes.
one?
Yeah. So I have my placement. Rose, my friend Rose, she does placement. I also have my connections with assisted living in my community. I know I'm friends with the sales director. Let's see, hospice. I have my hospice crew yeah, I have hospice. What else do we have? We have our notary, we have our lender, NHD, your natural hazard disclosure person when you're selling a property. Do you guys have that in your area? Is
Some
that
do,
it?
some of us don't. Depends
Oh,
on
okay.
because as like you, California, yes.
Okay.
Some other states
So,
don't.
and then also you want to have your estate planners, your 1031
A
exchange
CSA, which is your certified senior advisor, which is
advisor. Yeah. You could have a case manager too, a senior case manager.
And these are great connections because of the fact we're looking at two very vast demographics, but there's so many connections that you could make with all of these people that come back around and say, hey, I have a client that, but you don't need a vast, you don't need like 50. You need three good ones
Exactly. Yeah.
that you personally like, know, and trust, period. Like, know, trust. That's all. Like, know,
Yeah,
and trust.
I recently from the senior, so when I was new in my community, I went to the assisted living community in my neighborhood, and I went up to the sales. I booked an appointment with the sales director, and I said, "My name's Joellen. I'm new here. I'm a realtor, and I want to throw you an event." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Yeah, I will provide the venue and the food and the wine. We can do it at this winery. You handle the guest list." Her guest list is like her physical therapy, her case managers, her home health, all the people that she wants to get residents from, right? So now I took her off of her site where they usually do it at the assisted living, gave her a beautiful location, but I wanted to get to know all these people too. So just most recently, I just closed my first buyer with that sales director. It was one of her caregivers on site that I helped buy a home.
That's
So
awesome.
that was fun.
The other thing, the other thing is this, um, this demographics is so huge and it's untapped, number one. But number two, it's not about the sales part of it. It's about the connections that you're making. Like
Yeah.
Joellen just told you about what happened. Hey, I've been whining and dining, but essentially in her story, no offense,
Yeah.
Joellen, but it was like, hey, I'm whining and dining. And then I got a sale out of it.
Yeah.
But you're thinking outside the box and you're taking them from what they normally do in our connections. If you haven't been to these events, I urge you to. I'm happy to do a talk about it. I go to them all the time. They're amazing. You
Hmm.
connect with people that are beyond your scope. I have for years said that we are like the PTA, but for the senior demographics. Because when we bought our homes way back then, we bought them going into a neighborhood for our children. We looked at the real estate agent to help us with, we want to get into this school district. We need a tutor. We need a pediatrician. We need whatever it is, a coach for soccer. The bottom line is that's all well and good for when you're having kids, but all these people's children have moved out of the neighborhood and they're all either solo aging or they're aging together. However, our homes are not safe. And we know that by two things. Number one, our nation's housing infrastructure tells us that. You can look on HUD, you can look anywhere, but less than 5% of it can actually accommodate somebody with a mobility issue. So if you take a slip or a fall, you have two choices: modify or move. That's it. And wouldn't you rather give them all the options of staying in their home before they have to move? Because now that you've gained their trust of making them stay at home, they're going to come to you with a move.
Yeah. And also, I have another two team members, two ladies that I absolutely love. They're my reverse mortgage specialist. And so if somebody calls me and says, my dad needs care or whatnot, I don't know how we're going to pay for it. First thing I ask, well, is there any, does he owe any money on the home? This and that. And then what they could do is do a reverse mortgage and either maybe take some money out or just at least not have to use the money that they're actually living on right now.
Yeah. And by the
And
way, just a reverse mortgage. They also have uh it's called a lifestyle home loan, which is really a reverse mortgage for purchase. A lot
yeah,
of people don't even know about it, but you can help somebody over 62 get into a 2 to 4 unit building where as long as they're living in one, they can rent out the other three and still make some type of income, depending on what's going on in their life. There's options. They just don't know about them, and you guys don't know about them,
oh,
right?
you need to. Yeah, it's leverage. I've talked to, oh my gosh, probably I've already had about 5 or 6 calls set up with my reverse partners with people that have reached out to me for their parents.
Yeah. So, and listen, by the way, that sandwich generation, the people that that are calling her, that is the sandwich generation. Those are people that are your typical avatar for us is what we're looking at in 55 or over. It's the older daughter that's caring for
Uh-huh.
a parent, that's going through life's transitions and everything else, and they don't know where to go because the parent
Exactly.
hasn't set anything up. And by the way, trust me when I tell you this, that our generation and those that are stuck in this sandwich generation watching their parents go through it are going to also need to set stuff up because they don't want to end up like that. And you have all the tools and all the people. Again, PTA. Like what she's got is this beautiful golden box of people and has
Mhm.
packaged it all as a golden nugget for us, right?
Yeah, and my motto is not about who, but not about how, but who. Who do I need to talk to? Who do I find out? I will always make sure. And I think if we're all in this space, we really need to know about reverse mortgages. We need to know about hospice. We need to know what the cost of care is if they bring in a non-medical caregiver.
Oh,
Um,
wait.
because
You know
then
what,
start talking like,
Joellen, here's a really interesting fact between California and all of our other states. Look it, we're worldwide, nationwide, all of it here at EXP. But the one thing I will tell you is every one of our states has different types of tax little things. And most real estate agents, which is surprising in the state of California, don't understand the proposition of this tax that we have where we can take the base value of one house taking it to another when we help them go buy something else or go to do something else. So there's things that you can entice them with, but without knowing all of that, you wouldn't be able to do it. Again,
right,
that's California. Imagine what's happening in other states. By the way, the reverse
yeah.
mortgage, you can't do it in New York. You can't do it in some of the states.
Oh,
There's 3 states. But the point is that every one of our states, what's working in California or what's working in Florida or New York or New Jersey or Canada isn't going to necessarily work in the other states. It's
right.
no blanket rule. But
I know, I know Ohio,
Nextdoor.com, own it. Know your
right.
state's rules, know your area's rules, know your area's little, senior little activities that you can get involved with that nobody else knows about,
Oh
right?
yeah, and what's really fun too is you can go to your local assisted living and let's say St. Patty's Day is coming up. You can go and ask for the what do they call? Oh my God, hold on, I'm drawing a blank. The activities director. Say, can I speak with the activity director? And she'll get on the phone or he and say, I would love to come in and do an ice cream social for St. Patty's Day. Would that be okay? They're gonna let you come in and make an Italian soda and ice cream. I mean, I come in with it's in an ice chest that I rolled in to pass out it's to all of the employees. But like they'll let you set up that, and that's just then they'll start to get to know you, and then they're gonna refer you because you're taking the time to come in there and pour into their residents and
I'd, I'd rather spend the marketing dollars, and I think most of you, please put it in the chat box, would agree with me on things like that are going to get us that handshake with somebody in face-to-face connection versus sending it in a mailer that's going to go out that that's going to end up in the trash.
yeah.
Please drop a comment because I personally spend the $300 that you'd spend or whatever you said on mailers on that
Yeah.
ice cream social and roll it, cart it in and look like you're lugging it in. People looking at you kind of funny, but they won't forget
Yeah.
you. Trust me.
And another thing that I just did for Valentine's Day, I did a sock drive. So I put on Nextdoor. I'm doing a sock drive for seniors, who would like to get involved. So I collected so many socks. Then I went to my son's school and asked the class teacher if they could make Valentine's cards. Then I went to the local preschool. So now I have all these Valentine's cards and these socks. And guess who comes, calling them, oh my God,
I
you're
saw
a
you. I saw your video. That was an awesome video.
Yeah, they're like, we love you so much. Thank you for this. I mean, I'm just taking things from other people's households. Remember, it's not about how, it's about who do we do it with? Who do I
So,
gotta,
yeah, it's not about how, I'm sorry to forgive me.
it's about who,
Yeah.
who.
And
Yeah,
it's funny you say the who because by the way, Holly Garvey, Lori Tipton, they're people are coming in with some really great ideas. Here's an
nice.
idea. If you guys aren't seeing the what's in the chat box, I'm gonna tell Joellen so she can get this great idea. But this or spin off of this idea. But when you're talking about Mother's Day, we have a lot of female heavy residents in our assisted living communities, and Mother's Day is coming around the corner. So going to and by the way, you don't have to have kids at
No,
the elementary school or at the middle, whatever it is. Just going in and saying, hey, I am trying to get Mother's Day birthday cards made for
yes.
an assisted living community. All you have to be is the connection
Uh-huh.
and the facilitator to make the two things happen. That's all you have to do.
Yeah,
That's your job. Simple. So
yeah.
Mother's Day and Lori, both Lori and Holly, thank you. So for Mother's Day, maybe if you guys went
I
out
love that.
to your local schools, because elementary school kids love doing that. And teachers are like, heck, let's just give them an art project and this would be great. You get it, you do it for a senior. You go into the senior living and I don't know, is Joellen, is that on here?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I
No,
love
no,
it.
no. The passing out of cards, is that on here or was that on your Facebook or
I posted
I
it.
think
I still need to put it in there, actually. I
okay.
still need to put it in
So
there. Yeah,
I watched her video of her passing things out. By the way, fascinating. It gets tons of views. So when you
yeah,
see this, it's not just about what's happening on Nextdoor for her, it's what she's also posting on her Facebook page, which is exactly this.
yeah.
She's not
I mean,
recreating anything. She's taking the same thing and just tweaking it, but putting it on Facebook, putting it on Instagram, putting it on this place. And it's fascinating.
I think we should do this as a group if anybody, whoever wants to do it, is the Mother's Day. And maybe what we do is we go on Nextdoor and we post in our community looking for used or gently, sweaters to donate with Mother's Day's cards to the local assisted living. And then now people are going to say, oh, I have sweaters. And you're going to get to these doors, these homes in
Yeah.
your neighborhood. And now you're meeting the people. And when they need a realtor, who do you think they're going to remember?
Or you go to those assisted living communities and you ask them, what is it that you need?
That's what
You
you do.
know, it's
Yes.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you got it because Florida's not, sweaters aren't so great, but you get into like Massachusetts, New York, and certain areas.
Yeah. Whatever it is.
But whatever it is, like I said, what's working in one area doesn't necessarily work in others, but make it work.
I,
Make
I do
it
for
work.
I do it for the foster children and I do it for the seniors. With the foster children, I have them come to my brand new listing, my Twilight Tour. They set up a pop-up and they're talking to people about this nonprofit organization called CASA, children who are going through the foster system. So I'm giving them a platform of people that are coming in. And then I ask CASA, what do you need? And then I go on Nextdoor doing the donation for CASA. This is what they're in need of. Might be hoodies, water bottles, and then we collect them.
And by the way, you're bridging that gap again, sandwich generation. High five. I'm
Yeah.
doing great.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm getting
Yeah.
off the slide, guys. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. Please, just let
So
me.
this
Mhm.
is this is where I was posting where I can someone needs help cleaning out their closet or garage. I do spend time at the assisted living volunteering, but I think it would be nice to help my community here first. I got 6 calls, made really good friends with this lady Linda right here. I'm listing her house for $1.5 million in the spring. We've been friends for 2 years. And guess what? When I go to my charity events like Casa, I always bring her with me. She's 70 years old. She is like my best friend now. I mean, my husband, like we go to dinners at her house. She comes with us. And it started from me posting this, who needs help. And now she's one of my best friends. And I'm selling her house. But at the same time, I knew I was more just seeing how I can get connected and just be that I guess really just, I don't know, be that resource. I mean, I want to say it's driven by real estate at the end of the day, but I do want to be that local realtor. I feel like you can trust me. I'm not gonna hurt them. I'm not gonna scam them. I'm not gonna charge them more money. You know what I mean? I'm gonna really take care of them like I would my mom.
Yeah. So by the way, I love you, Lori. You are the best. Lori in the chat box said, I'm 70 years old next year. Let's be best friends too.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
I love it.
That's
Okay,
just
so
so
I'm on the slide where it was talking about the contest entry, and I then stopped it because I was going to let you.
okay.
I'm
Um,
actually gonna reverse back so people can see and you can describe what's happening.
so I live in a town of 19,000 people, and lately I've been getting known. I had someone stop me at the gas station. He was yelling, "Ma'am, ma'am," and I turned around. I'm like, "Me?" He's like, "Yes." He's like, "Can I get your card?" And I'm like, "My card?" He's all, "Yes, you're the lady from next door." And my mom wants to sell her house. They started giving me that information. And then I went into a Mexican restaurant and I was waiting for my food. And this couple stopped at my table and the guy goes, "Are you Joellen?" I said, "Yes." Joellen Brooks from next door. I said, "Yeah, that's me." He's all, "Thank you for everything you're doing in the community." And then he looked at his wife and said, "She's our local realtor. Next door famous, yes." And so I was
Next door,
like,
yes.
and of course I had to get in my car going like, "Oh my gosh, I was just recognized. They said that I'm the lady from next door." So I love it. I do
Okay,
these
so what
little,
I love here is you're talking about National Neighbor Day.
yeah,
You know, here's something I want to tell people. In all honesty, okay? If you look at this happy national day, she only has 6 hearts and one comment. But and that one comment was her, but let me show you something, okay? On that, on that graph, 2.7 thousand views. So that means
yeah.
that everybody has seen it. Doesn't necessarily mean that they have to like it or comment on it, but they're still viewing it. Think
Yeah, do you
about
know when
that,
I got
okay?
do you know when I got those 11 CMA requests, not one person commented or hearted it? It's almost like they didn't want anybody to know that they did that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, and look,
So
it's
just because they
there, and all you're doing is like you're even talking about food and you're tagging the restaurant. The other thing, do you want to talk about what happens when you tag a business and then what it reflects on our profiles? What happens to our profiles when we tag a business?
Oh, well, you earn badges. You earn badges for doing recommendations, and let's say you went to a restaurant and you make a recommendation, just like Google profile or Yelp, but start doing it on here because you earn these little badges that then I think maybe put you out there more in front of people so they're seeing your
Yeah,
content.
their posts, especially when you tag a business, even in social media, it is seen by all the people who follow that business. And again,
Yeah.
people who have never seen that business and Joellen's tagging it are like, oh my God, that's a great business. She really knows what she's talking about. Like,
Or that too. Yeah.
so
And
it's
really just
great, you know?
def- definitely give recommendations of people that you've used. I'm sure everyone on here has used somebody that they can leave a recommendation. You can go back and find your past buyers and sellers and ask them to make recommendations. I ask all the time. It
I love this. Okay, so I'm going to backtrack on this one really fast about
was a
how
big one.
I've been singing this in my head all day. By the way, do you notice it has nothing to do with her kids or business or giving back to the community? This is just something that's happening in her head, normal,
Yeah.
everyday stuff. Why
Yeah,
don't you?
look at the views on there and all the comments. And now remember, these are like 40 more people that I get to know.
So it's not necessarily about always giving out the information that you think that's worth the sale. It's about just connecting. That's what they
Just kidding.
want, the like, no trust, and the connection.
And everyone's putting
I love
songs.
the stuff that people are writing because it's engaging.
Yeah, that's what I love too.
That's great. I
It
love
was a
watching
rainy,
videos.
it was a raining day again. People were probably sitting on their couch watching a movie, like, playing by their dog or whatnot. And I popped that out and its light gets lit up. I was like, that's really cool. Um,
So, I'm going to go to the next slide because I know we're
yeah.
kicking into the last 10 minutes and I want people to open up their mics.
Okay,
So,
right here. This
mhm,
is good. What is it? It says build raving fans. So look at the first comment on the left, or the first post. That was a neighbor that posted looking for a realtor. And then on his post, these are all the people that were recommending me as the realtor to interview.
I
I
love the
interviewed.
fact that they literally say several million plus homes, $1 million homes. Nice job, Joelle. High five again. Okay.
Thank you. And so I this is the $2.4 million listing that's going to go live in spring. It's my first listing appointment and listing off of Nextdoor for this new year. And it's only February. Then I got it January.
But
So
here's the thing is, again, we're talking about views versus the people that are actually just saying, hey, she's the girl. It's not about the view count. It's about what you're putting out and how genuine you are, serving from your heart, not with your hands,
yeah,
but serving with your
and now
heart.
and people are recommending me. And these are clients. Some are clients and some are just people that have worked with me in the area, like neighbors,
Yeah.
real neighbors.
Yeah.
So neighbor to
I'll
neighbor.
let you kind of finish up here with the do's and don'ts, and then we'll get to the Q's and A's in
Yes.
couple more slides.
So the dues are whatever's in your head and you want to post it, put it on there. I'm sure it's going to be nice. It's going to be funny. It's going to be creative. It's going to be something. Maybe it's about what are you watching on TV right now, whatever your favorite show is. Just get the people start talking, start building people, start building those connections. Don't ever talk about, oh, look at my property that was just listed. If you want to get your listing video on there, just say something like, I love the beautiful area we live in, and boom, there's your listing video. Let's see what else. Um,
Valuable, you got to provide valuable information, right?
yes,
And
provide
by the
that.
way, don't engage.
Right.
Do not to
Yeah.
engage, even though you just want to do
Yeah.
one.
Don't do it.
Do not. Don't
I
even go down that hole. Trust me, that's the worst way to lose your reputation.
Yeah, and also if let's say somebody posts something on, say you post something about a recommendation or whatever, and you see it's another realtor getting on your, I'm sorry, in
Don't
your
even.
comment, you can
And they're
mute.
going to. They're going to. There's
You
always.
can mute them. You can mute them. There's a little button that'll allow you to mute them.
Yeah. Please don't go down the rabbit hole trying to justify something or a bashing, because that's not what Nextdoor is about. It's about staying positive. The reason why she has gotten Nextdoor famous is because of that, because she stayed positive. She hasn't
Yeah.
engaged. She hasn't gotten into conversations or anything like that. And then I love that mute button.
Yeah, and I could have, but I just, like I said, I just swipe past that, or I don't. If someone tries to get in it with me, which one time it happened, but another neighbor stepped in and said if they don't like it, they can just keep going by. Thank you for letting us know about that community. We have family moving up here. So it's like they're just haters. It's what it
Yeah.
is.
And they're
So,
out there. Whatever it is, ignore it, not worth it. We're better than that. Okay, next slide. The don'ts about self-promotion, misleading, spamming, trolling, bypassing, all that good stuff.
yeah, all that good stuff.
It's important. You guys already heard us talk about the moderator that happened to have been on here and the one that contacted her. There are moderators and there are very specific keywords that are on there that will flag your post and not allow you to post it. Right.
Yeah, they're using AI now. I recently posted something about some buyers of mine, and I usually say a sweet family, and I accidentally said buyers, and I got flagged. I think I was in like the Nextdoor jail for like 3 days, which I was not happy about because I'm doing so much community work here that I'm like, how would you even do that to me?
like for
But
one little tiny minute word
yeah,
of a violation. So it is that, I guess that's hard. So if you're using that AI, make sure you
yeah,
very
yeah.
specific.
And that was a chat GPT and I forgot to change it. So I was like, darn it.
Yeah. Lesson learned. Okay.
Yeah,
The like no trust. You want to, can you read it or do you want me to read it out to people?
I'm sure you can.
Okay. Remember, the key is to establish yourself as a valuable and trusted member of the community rather than just a realtor. This will help you build credibility and gain referrals through your next door presence. And now, hold on, we got thank you. Connect with me on Nextdoor, Joellen Brooks. And I highly suggest you guys connect with her on Nextdoor .com. And the reason why I say that is because why recreate the wheel in something when somebody kind of has done it? Look at other people who are wording stuff and not steal, but borrow and then tweak to make your own.
Right. Now I do have a course that I sell for $50.
Yeah.
But I could give it to everyone for $19 on here if they want to purchase it. And it's just for you to have to go through the entire process.
From stem to stern. So, and
Yeah.
it's, by the way, totally even worth the $50, not even
Yeah.
the
It's
discounted
okay
price.
though.
And the reason why I say that is because it really helps you establish all the perfect little details of getting you up
Yeah.
and running and what you need to know. Everybody's saying yes, please, yes, please, yes, please. So
Yeah.
can you just, is it, what do they do? Not on your slide present.
Could you have them email me at my could you drop my email address in there and have everyone email me?
I would be happy to. I'm going to stop sharing and
And
then
then
I will put that in the,
once they watch the course, whenever they have time, they can give me a call. We could set up a call like to go through it, like any other questions they're gonna probably have after that.
okay. And then they can
Which
also reach out to her on, workplace.
and yeah,
She's on
perfect.
EXP workplace and she's really good about answering you guys. So if you do need, please, and her email is over on workplace, but I will definitely get that for you again.
Thank you.
Um, please raise your hand. Joellen would be happy to, answer any questions that you guys have. I know the first one was business versus personal. I'm going to let her answer that one while I get the link, while I get you her email address. I'm going to mute myself so she can talk business versus personal, and then we'll take questions.
So personal, I've always started everything with personal. Is that what they're asking?
They were asking the difference between the two and which you feel is better. I mean, there was like kind of a gist of things. I know
Yeah.
you started off with personal, people came in late, so they didn't hear it. I know you started off personal and now you're a business, but it would be interesting in why you also now have a business page as
So all
well
my
as your
yeah,
personal.
all okay, so all my personal is everything that I've started from the very beginning. Um, my business page I recently created to number one, put the brokerage I worked for, all of my information, all of my client testimonials, my listing appointments, my open houses, or my listing videos, my open houses. Also, really, what's the most important is if somebody's going to recommend me, that's how they recommend you. They recommend you through your business page, not your private page, and you can get faved as like the favorite, and you want those. So with your personal you don't get faved. um and they can't really tag you per se on your personal. They can just put your name, but if they have your business they'll say reach out, and then it'll show. It's like a link, like your business card is what it is when they recommend your business.
Are they allowed to follow you? I mean, is there like a follow kind of a thing that
Okay,
happens in business
so
and personal or anything like that?
yeah, they will be able to connect with you. Now this is funny, when we first started this, there used to be a connect button with Nextdoor. I don't know if you know this, Heather, but the connect button is now gone. And I think I broke that because I was using at such a high level with people all over the United States.
I know.
And
We did a
so
lot.
one day that I went to connect with somebody, I searched their name and then hit connect, and it's gone. And I Googled, why is the connect button gone? And it said Nextdoor has taken down the connect button so that real authentic relationships can be built. So I'm like, and they're watching me on the back. They're watching everything. So I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that started connecting on the massive levels,
Right.
being on all these
Right.
podcasts and telling people to follow me.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
we've done
now
plenty of classes here too. So, there, by the way, there you go. She started being Nextdoor famous. Tell them the year that you started this.
I started this the summer of 2022
It hasn't
because I
even
moved
been.
into my house in March of 2022, and my first community event was ice cream social 4th of July at the park. And then my first listing I got was 6 months later. So 2023, really, actually, yeah, a year later.
Okay, we've got a couple questions, but sticking to the business personal. Now that you have a business page, do you post on both personal and business?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, and
Good.
then also with the Nextdoor, if you have an open house, you can create an event in Nextdoor and put your open house flyer in there. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure you guys, somebody's doing something, whether it's community, whatever, the event side and put your flyer in there and then the location, and then people will be able to see it and come to your events.
Um, what's your business page called?
It should be Joellen Brooks. Um, yeah, just my name, Joellen Brooks.
Okay. So Stephen has been waiting so patiently while we've been dealing with the business personal page. So Stephen, please, and he's from Sacramento.
Oh,
Um,
hi.
I know you're up near Joellen, but please
Yeah,
open up your mic and ask.
Hello. Well, first of all, thanks for doing this. I'm new SRES and
absolutely.
kind of getting into it. Yeah, I'm right down the hill from you in Folsom. So,
Oh,
um,
cool.
my question for you is really for the next door. Obviously, there's different communities and everything, and everybody like Folsom. We've our own community. I'm in there on next
Yeah.
door. Mainly, I respond to people. I haven't done my own postings yet. Do you branch out into other communities, or are you just posting for Cameron Park, or how does
Yeah,
all that?
no, I'm all over Folsom too because I have clients that I sold in Folsom, so then I have them to, get me in there. And when I had the connect button, I was so yeah, so people that are seeing my stuff are Folsom, Eldorado Hills, Shingle Streams, Placerville, Rockland.
So you
Um,
can say pretty much when we as agents are marketing to not marketing, sorry, let me back up. When we as real estate agents are targeting or talking about the things that are happening, you're in a very specific demographics. It's not as if you're going to a completely, you're in a county, but what I would say is like 5 towns over where it's like 100 miles. Too far, right?
yeah, yeah.
So
What you do,
roughly,
you can
where
just
are you?
what you can do is go into the settings, and then it's going to say neighborhoods, and then it'll say explore neighborhoods, and it'll say follow neighborhoods, and that's how you can see all them you can follow.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anybody else? I would love for others. We have a lot of people on this call. You can open up, talk to us. Anybody? Hello? Kim?
Hi.
I see. Yes.
So my next door is nothing like it's not for social. People just put things on there of, recommendations for a contractor or restaurant or lost dog. Nobody really is on there to make friends, it seems, just.
Well, in my area it is, but just by somebody putting out what you just said, a contractor or a recommendation, if you see that, you can hop on and say, "Oh, hey, here's a contractor," or, "Oh, I've gone to this restaurant." So you could start the engagement and build the friendship.
I do that here and there, but it looks like you're actually posting things on there that's going on with what you're doing. And
Oh,
like your family or what you're doing within the community, and nothing. I've never seen anything posted on my Nextdoor like that.
But maybe you
I
should
know
start and be the first
that's start
person.
it. Yeah.
That's why
That's what,
Joellen's here.
yeah, start it.
By the way, Holly calls you a trendsetter. So it cue the trendsetter music here. So
Yeah, you're
here's
right. I did something different. I thought outside of the box instead of using the Facebook. And also what's funny is I did get from one of my next door, someone who follows me next door, somebody was looking for a realtor in one of those Facebook chats, and my next door follower dropped my name in a Facebook county chat. I was like, oh wow. So
there's a lot of crossover. But
crossover, yeah.
but here's what I will tell you statistically, if you look at marketing data and you look at 55 plus, they are on this app. Whether they are actually physically posting on it, whole nother story. But they're looking, they're
Yeah, they
reading,
said it's
they're watching comments, they're stalkers.
yeah.
They're like one of those people that will scroll social media without commenting, but they'll watch to get their information because I'm one of them. I'm one of them. I am.
Yeah, some people are just they're intimidated to post, but they're watching, and then when they need something, all of a sudden your phone rings or you get that personal private message.
So,
And
and
they
I'm gonna go back to exactly, and I'm gonna prove the point of in your presentation. One of the things I was telling everybody as you were, I had interrupted about showing them, it doesn't matter about how much engagement that you're getting. It's the view count of how many people are seeing it.
yeah.
Bottom line, it's the viewership count. It
Oh,
is how many people are looking at it. We're stalking, we're stock scrolling. We're doing the
and
money.
also I always wear my green. My open house signs have my picture that my next door picture is. So everything is the same so that people can still, oh, she's the go-to realtor. There she is. Sometimes I got to remember when I'm at the store and someone's staring at me, I'm like, oh, they probably seen me on next door. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, they probably want to say something because they're like staring at me. You feel like you know somebody and you see them and
Mhm.
you're like, that person
How
looks
do I
so
know them?
familiar. Yeah.
So two things.
So
Christy Brown, you had your hand up, please. Oh, still on mute.
Yep. I was just going to say something along the lines of on my next door, it's the same thing. Everybody's very negative, and if somebody's trying to rehome an animal, they all jump on them and attack. But I agree. Why not be the person that starts
Something
yes.
something
positive.
enjoyable on there?
Yes.
Positive.
All this negativity, and then that'll make you stand out in the crowd
Yes.
with
Yeah.
everybody else.
But
Yeah.
you also have to think about giving them something that they need on the other.
Obviously, yeah. So
So
start,
we all know,
showing your
we'll
face.
we all love free. We all love deals. A lot of seniors or a lot of us over 60 have no clue the deals that are going on. Maybe there's a restaurant that you're going to go try and then you find out they have a senior deal. How great is it for you to take a little snapshot of it with your lovely mother or with a lovely client or a lovely friend to tell them about that senior deal? Not selling yourself, but
Yeah.
you're talking about that deal that's in your community. Positivity, baby. Positivity.
Yeah.
Right?
You can, right. You're going to get you don't even have to say you're a realtor with what you're doing because they're going to end up just following you and they're going to get it. And then they're going to call you. If you put yourself out there and if you want it, and you got to be intentional, because I'm telling you, once you start with this ad, it's going to be amazing. If that's what you want though, that's what I want. I want community. I'd like to make friends. I want to be able to help wherever I can, you know.
Holly, Holly, open up that mic because I see you with your hand up.
I just wanted to point out, I asked in the chat, but I'll just ask here. So the view count, that's only on the business account, not the personal account?
Oh, no,
The view count is on your personal.
Oh, you can. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. You're going to be blown away when you post something and all of a sudden you have like 10,000 people looking at it. And then when you have 10,000 people looking at it and you're at the store, do you see it's going to be easy. And
So I use Nextdoor for, I pay attention to people that need pet sitters. And I offer pet sitting to certain people. So like previous clients, friends, family, whatever. But I just
Uh-huh.
over the winter started responding to certain people that needed help. I have animals. I travel a lot, so I know how hard it is to find a good pet sitter.
Yeah,
So that's one way that I have been starting to reach out in that network. But I love this so much because I took
thank
care
you.
of my mother-in-law when she got diagnosed at 59 years old with early onset Alzheimer's. So
Oh,
we built our house and had her move in with us, and I took care of her until the day she passed. She passed here in our home. And then my dad got sick, and I was caring for him for 2.5 years, but a lot of his care was in Massachusetts, and I'm in New Hampshire. So I don't have the connections with the care providers that were really, down there. But when he moved up here, I made some connections here, and I wanted to be able to reach out to them. And ironically, tomorrow will be 2 years that he passed. And so some of the caregivers that I still have connections with, I want to reach out to them and just let them know I was thinking of them. And I really appreciate how they helped us and all of that. And then hopefully sort of rekindle the connection so that I can lean on them a little bit and see how I can help them in the community. Do you
yeah,
have
well, yeah,
any suggestions on?
yeah, that's a great, I mean, I think what you're saying is perfectly spot on what you should do. I would, maybe have coffee with them, let them know that, you're senior real estate specialist designated at 55 and older. You're building your team because you're going to start seeing people sell your homes to move to assisted living because this is your demographics, in your neighborhood, and you just really want to be able to have the referral to hand over, and I'm sure it'll be reciprocated, like
Fantastic.
something like that. Make yourself know that they need you too. Don't
Yeah.
think that you're just going there and you don't have anything to offer, but you actually do because you're a realtor in the 55 and older, and you're going to know about the people that they're going to need. And if they're actually caregivers, are you talking about caregivers that come into the house?
So I did have caregivers that came in, some PT, some OT. I had
Yeah.
hospice.
And
I
those
had
are all,
the
that's
whole crew.
all the people that
Yeah.
you have in your
And you
little briefcase.
and you just let them know that you want to be able to exactly refer them
Right.
business, and they're going to
Yeah.
be like, oh, I love that. And then they're going to get your information, and then you just build a relationship from there.
It's
Excellent.
reciprocal
Mhm.
together.
Yes.
That relationship, they took care of your father and you know that they have a good heart. They
Mhm.
gained your trust, they have gained you liking them. And so now that you have that and you've seen the way that they work, you are able to say to clients, to anybody in the neighborhood, they took care of my dad. You're not
Mhm.
coming from sales, but they took care of my father and I would recommend them. And when people need a recommendation, you're able to give it to them.
Mhm. Exactly. And I
Oh,
just
and
noticed.
also if you see somebody on Nextdoor that's asking for a caregiver, put their name and phone number in there and then screenshot it and text to them and say, hey, I just want to let you know that I just gave a recommendation for you.
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. And I also noticed that my community center, I'm in a really small town. But my school district is huge. And so we're all little small towns together that work together. So my rec center is actually starting to host a lot of senior things. And so
Mm-hmm.
I figured I'd reach out to the rec director and see if there's if they needed help with, volunteers over there and work in that way as well. Just because it
I would
helps. And
100% do that if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have such a heart for, the families that are going through all of this stuff too. So I
So
just wanted to reach
here's
out.
one thing I have been doing that I got involved with as the volunteer position, just to get involved with the community, what was going on, because I love education. That's just me. Love the background of education. I am now on the Speakers Bureau for AARP, and I go into senior communities giving presentations. They have 12 presentations. They train you how to put them on. They put you in the communities. You could pick and choose. If they've got a date and time that works for your schedule, great. and it's all around where you are. And the best part is if that community doesn't have anything and you go to AARP and say, hey, we need this. I want to be your speaker. We need a speaker here. They'll be like, hey, we'll train you. You do it all. Go for it. The reason why I say this is because when I go and speak at these events, I go in and I say, hey, I'm Heather Brooks. I'm a real estate agent and an aging specialist. I'm certified in aging in place. You introduce yourself, you do the whole presentation on the last slide, you put your information. So they have your information. They already see you teaching with the ARP. Doesn't mean that you have a partnership or connection, but that's your volunteer side of you. You're giving back to the community. It's a well-known entity. Everybody loves ARP. You know, you can give a lot of great
Yeah.
information from ARP. Just, it's a great, like, kind of in the background.
Oh, I'm very interested in that. That's amazing. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Steven, I see you again. I'm going to wrap it up because we're already at 8:15 and most of us have to go.
Oh,
But
sorry. Yeah, so this is just really quick then. So I noticed but in terms of like engaging seniors, so on Nextdoor, most of your content is personal or, related to just general real estate, like, just sold, just listed, open houses and whatnot. Not necessarily, targeting seniors. Is that, basically how it goes? It's just the demographics that are more on Nextdoor is more senior related?
I would say they said it's Gen X and boomers.
But
Um,
you have to realize with that comes us taking care of our parents who also need it. Because if you,
yeah.
Joellen was saying is she gets kids who are like my parents.
But the seniors are on there and they're looking there because they feel it's a safe place. Let's see. And yeah, they're probably looking at it for, yeah, the seniors are on there. And Folsom too. You should get on Nextdoor. It's really good.
Yeah, I know I'm on there already, but as I said, I mainly just reply to other people's posts so far. But yeah, so you don't like target seniors, you don't like do anything special for seniors, I guess
Okay, so
your
when
events and that sort of thing.
when I'm going, what I do in my farm is I talk to my title company and they give me everybody who's been in their homes for 30 plus years, ones with stairs and no mortgage, and that's who I farm to. And those are the next to move.
Okay, so yeah, that's what you do in terms of a farm, but not necessarily in terms as far as next door goes.
You
You're just
can't,
doing
yeah,
general
no,
posts and all that.
no, you don't, there's no age specific on Nextdoor. Like you can't just say, I want to talk to everyone that's 85 with, 3-bedroom house with stairs. No,
Right. Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Okay. I did put the AARP volunteering. Actually it's around Fort Lauderdale because that's where I am right now. But every one of us has an AARP like head that oversees our county.
Present.
It's great. You can contact your local ARP person and say, hey, I want to do, there's tons of stuff to do. You could do advocacy if you are really into it, if you want to become a community volunteer at their events, because you don't want to speak in front of people. They've got a lot of amazing opportunities out there for you. So I am one of their community educators and speakers. I was asked to meet the new CEO of ARP yesterday at an event, and it's pretty freaking dang awesome to be involved in a community and see stuff that's happening, and just being involved. And then all of a sudden you're at events and you see homeowners that are around you. But the crazy thing is that there's so many senior events and things that are going on in our communities, and the seniors have no idea that they're happening, and neither do we. Really, there's lots of free things that are out there. If people need grab bars and your county might have had a crap ton of money donated to them for people to have grab bars and they're looking for people. But the best part is nobody even knows that they're looking for people. So the money just sits there. I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff. If you have not gotten very friendly with your area agency on aging, better do so now, because they're the people who are really going to tell you the kind of information that you need, and the people who are kind of the players in that area. And then you can kind of go from there and kind of see who's doing what. But I don't know. I mean, that's in all the years I've been doing this. This is just what I've gone through, and what I've been doing and what I've navigated. Joellen had a different experience because she came from the senior community side of it. Right, Joellen? I think she's there. She's still there? Maybe not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a non-medical background in sales director for home care, as well as a safety system that allowed seniors to age in place.
So
Um,
that
so that's
passion has been there for a long time. It was just shifted into real estate.
what are you doing? My little voice.
Miss Next
Um,
Door famous.
Well, thank you, everyone. I can't wait to connect with you all.
Okay, so everybody has Joellen's. Joellen, thank you so much for being here.
You're
I so
welcome. Thank you.
appreciate
I
it.
love being
And
here.
I hope the kids go, everything is okay with the kids.
Oh yeah, I just got to get him now too.
No problem. So for the rest of you that are on here,
Everyone.
I dropped Joellen's email in the chat for her class. Go ahead and email her. She'll send you a link for her class that she can teach you from A to Z in all things Nextdoor. And then you could be Nextdoor famous in your neighborhood. Am I right? Good. All right. Thank you guys so much. In a week from not next week, but the following week. In 2 weeks, we're going to do a Google business page, and I will be doing the KV core. Somebody just said, 1 second, please. Somebody just asked, when is the next class? It is on the 6th. That is March 6th, same time. Then again, on March 20th, I will try to get a KV core class somewhere between now and March 6th. If not, it's definitely by March 20th. Okay. Thank you guys so very much for joining us. Check out all the content that's at EXP Seniors Network. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Talk to you guys soon.